Is your boss treating you differently from the rest? You've been trying your best at your job, but your boss is never supportive or encouraging. Maybe you used to get along, but something has changed and lately your boss is giving you a hard time. Nothing you do is ever good enough, and you may already start questioning your own work and your own capabilities. At some point, their behavior makes you wonder, is my manager intimidated by me? Chances are that your boss is indeed seeing you as a threat or is simply jealous of you and of your abilities. Fearful and insecure managers tend to like keeping competent employees under their thumb to maintain power and control. I'm Marat from Emmotion, and after years of experience in corporate HR, I'd like to share with you 6 signs that your boss is intimidated or threatened by you. Stick with me till the end for a few tips on what to do when you find yourself in this situation. If you are not subscribed to my channel yet, then definitely hit the subscribe below, enabling the notification bell so you won't miss out my weekly content. Also, tap the like button if you are ready to proceed. So the first sign that your boss is intimidated by you is when they start talking poorly of you behind your back. One of the first things they would try is to isolate you from others at work. And to do so, they start speaking poorly of you to tarnish your reputation. They want you to come across as someone problematic. Hence, they use any circumstance or any opportunity to paint you as a bad one. Good and confident managers would never do that to anyone from their team. So eventually someone lets you know that your boss doesn't speak highly of you. Or if that hasn't happened yet, you might have perceived something while observing your surroundings. If you've noticed that your network is suddenly declining, then your boss is probably making disparaging remarks about you to your colleagues or to other executives. The next sign is when your opinion doesn't get any attention. When each time you have a brilliant idea or an interesting thought, your boss dismisses it. This is also a sign that they are threatened by you. Whenever you are in the meeting with someone senior, your boss will always try to reclaim control of the meeting. If they believe that you are smarter than them, they will do their best to silence your opinion. They also start avoiding your input. Even during the staff meetings, they won't give much attention to the projects you are in charge of. If their supervisor is present, they will make sure you won't speak much, suddenly ignoring you and not making any eye contact with you. This is surely one of the most telling signs of being intimidated, and it's also connected to the next sign, when they completely avoid any meetings with you. Your boss may act as if you do not belong to the team, as if you do not exist. They might avoid you because they feel threatened and they don't really know how to handle the situation. When the interaction with your boss stops, it makes your job more difficult because you can no longer exchange information or build rapport with them. They are probably trying to hide their true feelings about you, so keeping their distance is a defense mechanism. Again, they might stop maintaining any eye contact with you too, because that's a typical gesture expected from someone who feels intimidated, jealous, or threatened. The most common psychology says that it's hard to look into someone's eye when you just can't stand them. Sign number 4 is when they hold you back from advancing in your company. An insecure boss is always afraid of being outshone by their team members. This sign is common when your boss doesn't have the same abilities as yours, and they might be quite jealous of you. So this threatened and possibly toxic boss will do their best to suffocate your advancement and mobility. If you feel stuck and held back at your job, this could be a telling sign that your boss is trying to stifle you, so you wouldn't outshine them in the future. Any promotion or raise you were up to is now skipped. You go from a top performer and getting pay raises every year to someone who doesn't get anything right and possibly even being placed on a performance improvement plan. They will limit your chances for any upward mobility and any professional growth. It's also a strategy to make you leave the company without them having to fire you. They may overburden you by assigning you a lot of low-level tasks, the tasks without any recognition or any advancement, so you become even more demoralized and quit. Sign number 5, they won't acknowledge any of your accomplishments. A supportive boss will always recognize that their employees' accomplishments also represent them in a good light, so they will give you the deserved positive feedback. Something is surely wrong when your supervisor remains silent while your coworkers or other managers are praising you. Okay, this might be just a one-off. They might not always agree with your approach, and this can happen. But if instead of giving you any recognition, they have this need of putting you down, there is absolutely no doubt that your boss is jealous or intimidated by you. When you are only punished and never praised, this clearly creates an unhealthy and toxic work environment too. And the sign number 6, when your boss micromanages you and only you. Suddenly they become really critical towards you. Some bosses just micromanage everyone, but if you've compared with how they behave towards your colleagues, and it seems like you are clearly being singled out. A boss who is threatened by you experiences fear as soon as they feel a lack of control. So they start keeping an active eye on everything from what you do to when you come and to when you leave. They will try to counter their fears by micromanaging you as much as possible. This way they also want you to feel insecure and uncomfortable at work. And as I said before, if their behavior is directed only towards you, then they confirm being intimidated by you. And a bonus sign, your boss might be so worried that you might get ahead of them and outperform them, so they will limit your ability to communicate with the upper level management. They will make sure that all the communication with higher level management is through them. Part of that is because they are afraid that you might be reporting them or letting the management know about their poor attitude towards you. Now, just as I promised, what can we do about it? Even if we feel underappreciated and demotivated, it's in your best interest not to react negative or unprofessional towards them. Because your boss can easily use your behavior against you, and you might end up creating even more problems for yourself. As I said in my previous videos, this is a no-win situation. So you have to be smarter about it. Your boss is clearly intimidated by your abilities and knowledge, but they won't ever acknowledge it. So try approaching them in a friendly manner to work out your differences. It's extremely important for you to realize that as an employee, you have to share the spotlight with your boss and give them credit just for the sake of maintaining a working relationship with them. So as soon as you notice that your boss is threatened by you, don't opt for a power struggle. Instead, acknowledge their expertise and authority. Let them know that you are with them, that you are part of their team, that you have your best intentions for the job and for the company. And you would be very happy if they counted on you. Clearly articulate that you are on the same page with them, while also acknowledging their hierarchy. Their threatened ego should relax a little when you validate their authority. So after this conversation, they should change their attitude towards you. Now, if your boss remains rude and distant, chances are that your boss is a toxic individual, which might not change. You should check out some of my videos on toxic boss signs and on how to deal with them. Thanks for staying with me till the end. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumb up. It really helps my channel and keeps me motivated to create more content for you. Don't forget to subscribe below and see you in my next video coming up.